Hi everyone, I'm Fiona and today we start working on my Supra. First thing on my list is to convert the car to a manual. So today and the next few videos will all be about converting this factory automatic to a 6-speed manual. Right, so the first step is to pull out the center console, the front seats and the carpet. This will give me access to the inside of the car. Once we've done that, we'll jack her up. Alright, so we've got the console and the front seats out. Now we need to go around and remove all the trim around the edge of the carpet, as well as the seatbelt anchors and the rear seat, so we can pull the carpet out. Some of this is so we can give it a good clean, find out if there are any weird wires hiding anywhere, but also to give us good access to the main tunnel for later. Alright, so the interior is fairly stripped now. Taking out the front rear seat, the carpet, centre console for the most part. Still got a little bit more to do with the shifter, but we'll get to that. And of course the brake pedal, but again we'll get to that. We'll give this a good old vacuum at some point. Next, we need to get this car up in the air. Alright, so the interior is stripped out. Now we're going to jack her up in the air so we can start stripping out underneath. And if you like, that took 15 minutes. Okay, so we've got it jacked up. I like to jack it up a good solid amount of space to work in. I have some very solid 3-ton capacity jack stands. I like the ratcheting ones. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is to drain the automatic transmission of any fluid. We've got a pan ready. Lovely colour, that one. Okay, so normally to pull out a transmission I start at the diff, or where the drive shaft hits the diff, and then pull out the drive shaft forward from there. But that might be difficult, focus. It might be difficult with the exhaust in the way. We'll see how we go. Oh, no my oil, it's just dribbling. Let's see if we can get some of these screws loose. The old spanner on a spanner trick. Oh. That's one. That's three. If it's too tight, you just need more leverage. Alright, let's put the plug back in the transmission. Finger tight will do. And get rid of this oil pan. Out of the way. Okay. Next we're going to pull out the bolts at the back of the transmission itself. These are only a 14. There's no nut on the other side, so you have to brace the drive shaft somewhere. Still don't have the strength to use just the one spanner, so spanner on spanner. Now I mentioned that you can't pull out the auto selector until you've done some work underneath, and this is why. The auto selector connects through to this rod here, so you need to undo this little nut before you can pull the selector up through the transmission tunnel. So we're going to have to do that now. Okay, it's just a 12mm. Obviously it's going to shift on you. Not easy to do this holding the camera at the same time. And that frees up the shifter. Put the nuts back where you can. Saves you looking for them later. Not that I plan to use this again, but you never know, might come in useful somewhere. Okay, so now because the exhaust travels along and under the drive shaft, I'm not sure if you can see that very well there, to make it easier, and it's probably necessary anyway, I'm going to have to pull out the exhaust system. So I'm going to try and take it out in one piece, and that means just taking out these two very rusty nuts and bolts at the front here. So I'm just going to hit them with a bit of WD-40, and hopefully that'll loosen them up a bit. Alright, so first of all, you might notice that there are a number of wires connecting down here. I've disconnected them all already. They are for things like gear selection, reverse lights, and interior lights. They're all connected to the gear selector here. If your car has an airbag system, you'll have an airbag box and some wires. Don't touch that, obviously. Part of your airbag system, but otherwise I've disconnected all the plugs connected to the gear selector. So now we're going to, and it's just a 10mm. And with that, that's it. One automatic selector assembly out. Right, so the exhaust runs under the car all the way through to the back, which works out really well because I think I'm going to have to pull it out, and it means just pulling off just 2 bolts up here will allow me to pull the whole thing out. Of course, they're rusted, so I've hit them with the WD-40 a couple of times, and to my surprise they've actually started to loosen up. So now I've got to just pull them off all the way and then remove the exhaust. Okay, with the exhaust gone, we now have easy access to the drive shaft. We just pull off this one here, looks like some kind of brace, and then a couple of bolts up here, and it should all just pretty much fall out. Okay, and with that is now just these 2 for the drive shaft, and we should be able to pull it out. Okay, so we've got drive shaft out from the back of the transmission through to the diff. We have all the inside console out. From here we work forward from the back of the gearbox forward. We disconnect all the mountings, the bell housing, and then we drop the box out. But we're going to save that for another day. Alright guys, so we got to start. We stripped out the inside, we took out the shifter, the center console, the seats, the carpet, and that only really leaves swapping the brake pedal over. That's the only thing that's yet to come out, but we'll do that later. And then underneath we remove the exhaust and the drive shaft. So that just leaves now the gearbox with the cross member, the bell housing and the cooler lines, and we should be able to get that out on the next episode. Anyway, it's been a long day for me, not just in the garage, so I'm going to leave it there. Hope you're all having a great time, and I'll see you soon. Bye!